Ever since I got on social media, I was confronted with a reality that white people work very hard to hide from us. That reality is the truth. It's the reality that racism is very real. I also learned that adult white people and spoiled children have a lot in common. I've made countless videos and posts all over Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And whenever I post these thoughts and feelings of mine, I can guarantee you that within seconds, there will be some white people crying and moaning how not all white people are racist, or how my post itself is racist and I'm keeping racism alive. My social media has never been about one particular topic. It's very multifaceted. It's a place where I talk my mind and speak on what I want to, from relationships, weird, funny stuff, unicorns, yep, unicorns, love, and things that annoy me. And sadly for these particular white people, I'm very vocal, and I've never found it hard to express myself via words. I notice, however, these white people never have anything to say when I talk about the struggles black women go through or the degradation some black women face from some black men. Nope. Zilch. Nada. Not a word. Silence. But the moment I talk about black people or people of color being oppressed, ooh, no, you can't say that. You'll hurt our feelings. I've been called a racist so many times by white folks over the last few years that I'm starting to embrace the moniker of racist. But I'm wondering, if I'm a racist, then where's my power? Where's my ability to oppress an entire race? Not just piss five people off or annoy them with the truth that they want to hide. Because that's not racism. Whenever I talk about racism or oppression of our people, they scream that we love to play the race card. But do you know what I realized? We actually barely bring up the race card. We've been so conditioned to believe that racism doesn't exist anymore and that it's all in our head. But when we complain about injustices, it's actually white people that are the biggest abusers of the race card. I didn't say users of the race card. I said abusers. Because anything we say that they dislike, especially if it means we're excluding them, then they'll scream racism. For example, if I say black women are beautiful, they'll scream, that's racist. That's definitely racist. If I say Black Lives Matter, they'll say, that's racist. All lives matter. Even if I say, I'm giving up dairy products, they'll say, that's racist. It's white. That's why you're doing it. White people love to scream racism. They don't even know the meaning of the word. They think being called a name is racism. White people are so sensitive that even when you merely point out a fact, which is blatantly in our faces daily, they'll scream racism. To white people, racism is when you expose the wrongs that they do and show them for what they truly are. White people hate to be made to look bad. They will go through any lengths to hide the truth. They need to be seen as the victors and the victims. Just look at the history books. They'll report your posts, discredit you, and even kill you to silence you and stop you from exposing the truth. Some black people have become so scared to have a voice and speak out that they're afraid they might offend white people. This is the brainwashing that's going on now. I have a lot of white people who follow me on my Facebook and Instagram, and it seems they're only there to see if I write a post that says white people. You might not know this, but in my experience, based on the posts that I've had removed on social media, the phrase white people has now become a racial slur. Why do I say this? Because I could write something like, white people have thinner lips than black people. This wouldn't be racist, it wouldn't be rude, and it would merely be pointing out a clear point that everybody's aware of. But the fact that it says white people makes it racist and liable to be removed. This is now becoming a fact because I've experienced this many times. So in case y'all didn't know, you can't say white people anymore. I mean, they can say whatever they want about us, but we can't say anything about them. So from now on, you have to call them pink people or mayonnaise people, or as Sin calls them, albinoids. Because apparently the term white people is racist. What you need to understand is the media that includes social media, is pink people owned. And the message they've sent out is you can say whatever you want about black people as long as it's negative. It can't be positive, no positive images or any of that sort. White people can say whatever they want about black people, but if you say a single word wrong about white people, you will be stopped and silenced. Mark Zuckerberg and his bullshit about he will not silence black people's voices on social media was bullshit. Yeah, they stopped removing as many posts from pro-black pages. Now, they just stop your audience from seeing your posts pop up on their newsfeed, period. I have almost 90,000 people following me on Facebook. I used to get 6,000 plus likes on anything that I post. But now, it's not like that anymore. So we know your game. Well played, Mark. When I talk about colorism within the black community, white people don't say a thing. When I talk about the mistreatment of black women, white people don't say a thing. But as soon as I talk about racism or address their involvement, white people are quick to say, that's racist. As soon as I say Black Lives Matter, they're quick to say all lives matter. As soon as I say black women are beautiful, they're quick to say all women are beautiful. What about white women? As soon as I talk about the effects of slavery today, white people are quick to say that it's over and that we weren't slaves, get over it. Or, but what about the Jews? They don't want racism to be over. They just want us to stop talking about it. I want you to look up the traits of a narcissist. One of the traits is the desire to be the center of attention. Even when they are the center of attention, a narcissist can't stand for 1 second a little bit of their spotlight being shared with anybody else or not shining on them at all. All women are beautiful. If they're forced to share the spotlight, they must be the main focus of attention, while the others receive as little attention as possible. And it must be known that they received that little bit of attention because the narcissist gave them this incredible opportunity that they must forever be grateful for. Narcissism is a personality disorder that fits white people perfectly. Another trait of narcissists is shifting the blame onto others for their own bad behavior. What about black on black crime? Another trait is the lack of authenticity. Narcissists are very unoriginal, but despite copying others, they'll make sure to receive the majority of the spotlight for what they've copied. They're not called cornrows, they're called boxer braids, all praise to Kim Kardashian. They also lack empathy. All lives matter. Each trait describes white people as a whole. This is why white women try to redirect attention back on themselves or invalidate someone else when the spotlight is not on them. It's narcissism. It's deeply embedded within white society. They love to make everything about them. You ever notice that white people claim we always talk about slavery and then go ahead and say, won't y'all just get over it already? But wait, let's be real. We hardly ever bring up slavery. In fact, when we talk about racism or injustices within our community, aren't they always the ones who bring up slavery? White people remind me of children. Children always want the spotlight on them. Everything has to be about them. Children always want to be the center of attention. White people think the world revolves around them, just like spoiled children. They even want everything that doesn't belong to them, just like children. They even want our culture. And when you point out their bad behavior, they sulk, just like spoiled children. Now, white people love to say this to me. It's people like you who keep racism alive by always talking about it. Right, okay. So I guess it has nothing to do with you wanting to shut me up so you can continue being in control of us. It has nothing to do with a system that was designed to destroy us from the very beginning. I guess it has nothing to do with dismissing our struggles. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the police profiling of ethnic minorities. And I'm definitely sure it has nothing to do with you wanting to remain oblivious to the truth. I guess it has nothing to do with you wanting to sweep things under the rug so that your little conscience isn't hurt. No? Yeah, I'm the one keeping racism alive. White people love to throw things in our faces like black on black crime. Well, why don't we talk about white on white crime? Because white people commit a lot more murders. Why is it when a white person kills another white person, it's not called white on white crime? It's just called crime. Why? Because they want to sweep the severity of their issues in their community under the rug by making us look worse. They need us to look worse. They have to make us look worse to make them look better. Let's talk about pedophilia in the white community. Let's talk about rape, serial killers, high school shootings, and all your little weird sexual deviances. Let's talk about why your teenagers are so weird. Nope, can't talk about that. They need to make black people look bad because it takes the spotlight off them. It's even obvious in the news. When the criminal is black, they say, a dark-skinned black African-American male of Hispanic and West Indian culture, straight out of Brooklyn, was arrested today. Police believe he has ties with ISIS, the Taliban, the Crips, the Bloods, the Latin Kings, and possibly Barack Obama. Now, when the criminal is a white man, it goes a little something like this. A lonely, poor, isolated man was arrested today. The police have not given a statement at this point, but we believe he may be suffering from severe mental issues and neglect. We advise all to stay calm. White people love to tell us that it's not as bad as we say, and they struggle too. How can you talk about our lives when you've never walked a day in our shoes? They don't seem to understand that no matter how bad they think their life is, it has been made way better by their white skin. If they really think their whiteness doesn't get them through the day, then I challenge them to actually be black for one day. Being black is more than having a cool culture. White people need to stop telling black people how to act, how to feel, how to think, and how to be black. If they truly believe in equality, then their whole objective would be to bring black people and people of color to their level in the grand scheme. I mean, if they truly want equality. Instead, it's as though they want to keep us oppressed by dismissing us and our very real plight, which they caused. How do white people help to bring about real equality, you might ask? It's really simple. It's not that hard. By speaking up. They need to understand that their whiteness allows them certain privileges that we do not have. That includes white feminists. If you truly care for all women, then you would fight for black women, since they're the most oppressed group of women. And if you, as a white person, are struggling in life and a complete screw up, then like my man Paul Mooney says, you're just wasting that white skin. A lot of white people are blind to racism. Reason being that it simply doesn't affect them. However, when white people face prejudice, not racism, there's a difference, they don't know how to act. They then react like they are the biggest victims of the entire world. If white people are excluded from praise or a particular community, they will call us racists. Even though in reality, the majority of white people have never faced real racism. And being the only white kid in an all-black neighborhood and getting jumped every day by those black kids isn't racism. White people have this annoying habit of saying, well, if you want to get rid of racism, you've got to get rid of BET. Little do they realize that pretty much every media outlet is a white platform. BET is not black owned. It's black employed, but white owned. When white people are told about their white privilege, they feel we're making it up because they don't believe there is any privilege of being white. I don't have any privilege. I have a hard life and I suffer like everyone else. They then try to make comparisons to the struggles they may face and try to put it on the same level as our struggles. Because not getting a job because the company gave it to a more qualified person is exactly the same as being stopped on the street by police every single day. Or not getting a job because of the color of your skin, your hair, or even because of your name. White people simply aren't aware of their privilege. They don't give us the consideration to imagine just how much harder their life could be if they were a person of color. Why? Because they don't care. It doesn't affect them, so why care? They only care when it affects them. That's because when you've had a certain lifestyle all your life, you don't know any different. Spend a day in my shoes, and you'll understand that even a poor white man is in a better position than a rich black man. Think about that one deeply. For example, a black person in London, England says, London's really racist. Then a white person interjects and says, no, it's not. London is the most accepting and tolerant city in the world. Apart from the use of the words accepting and tolerant being the issues here, what white people don't realize is that they will experience life and society completely different to a person of color. They lack the ability to see things from our perspective. Well, I guess that's because they don't see color. Now, if you're a white man or a white woman that claims to love black men and women, but you never speak out on the multiple injustices that plague the black community, you never stand up and actually fight for black rights, you don't address colorism, misogynoir, self-hatred, racism, cultural appropriation, you don't promote black love, since black love is what makes black men and women. Without black love, there is no black men and women. It's quite simple. If you don't address the disrespect that black women face from all directions and all races, you don't promote black economic growth, then you don't love black men and women. You love black dick and black pussy. Facts. White people love to talk about all of the things that they invented, but never mention all of the inventions they stole from black people. What white people invented was the patent and copyright. Racism is what white people invented, but it's the one invention they don't want to take credit for. Peace, love, and coconut oil.
Hey man, that's racist. Please remember that from now on, brand new never before seen videos, as well as live streams, will only be available on my website, ikyg.com, via a Patreon subscription. ikyg.com is a black-owned, black-ran platform, 100% free from censorship. It's the only place where we don't have to worry about what we say and expressing ourselves. Make sure you check out the description and the comment section for important links, as well as information in video form that shows you what benefits you get when you support the site and join my Patreon. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, then don't forget to subscribe and be notified every time I upload a video. For exclusive content and perks, check out my Patreon. This is where we have private live streams, group chats, live Q&As, live phone calls, and open topics. This is a safe space where you can interact with other like-minded people, make friends, send each other direct private messages, and so much more without any trolls. And yes, you get to use GIFs and images in the live chats. So what are you waiting for? This is a completely independent website, free from censorship. If you'd like to make a donation towards the site so we can continue to put out the truth without fear of being silenced, then please hit that donation button. It's greatly appreciated. Check out the rest of the site for videos, private and public live streams, find out all the tea, and make sure to utilize the Black Money section of the website. Advertise your business absolutely free to people that look like you, free forever. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at angel_IKYG.